Since Chinese President Xi Jinping took power, his purges within the military have been continuous and increasingly intense. On November 28th, the Chinese Communist Party announced that General Miao Hua, one of the 5 members of the Central Military Commission, had been suspended for serious disciplinary violations and was under investigation. On December 10th, news spread online that Yu Jianhua, the head of China's General Administration of Customs, was found dead late at night in his office after being questioned by the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, CCDI. However, the official announcement stated that Yu had passed away from a sudden illness despite efforts to save him. He passed at the age of 63. Although the Chinese authorities tightly control information about internal matters, some signs suggest that due to the large-scale purges, the morale within the military is weakening, and there have been some growing instances of resistance to investigations. Recently, an Australian-based Chinese legal scholar, Yuan Hongbing, revealed that in late October, the CCDI and the Military Discipline Commission jointly issued a document called the Notification on New Developments in the Cadre Review Process. The document referred to 2 specific cases. The first case occurred in late August 2024 in the Central Theater Command, where a logistics colonel named Liu, who was under investigation by the Military Discipline Commission, killed 2 investigators with his service weapon. The second case occurred in early September in the Southern Theater Command, where a Navy senior colonel in charge of equipment killed 4 investigators during his interrogation, before being shot dead by a guard. The internal notice from the CCP authorities warned investigation personnel to be more vigilant and take precautions in potentially dangerous situations. It advised wearing bulletproof vests when necessary, which would be provided by the CCDI and the Military Discipline Commission. The news of these cases has caused a stir in Beijing's political circles. As investigations widen, many military officers are no longer passively enduring pressure or resorting to self-harm, but are instead choosing to resist, which could lead to more instances of shooting and violence against investigators. Yuan Hongbing believes that the CCP's officials' discontent with Xi Jinping has reached the level of hatred. These officials, rather than reflecting on their own corruption, are resorting to violence because they harbor a sense of rebellion, suspecting that the investigators may themselves have dirty hands but simply haven't been placed on the investigation list yet. Recently, a rumor has been circulating in Beijing's political circles that Liu Yuan, the son of former CCP chairman Liu Shaoqi and a retired general, submitted a memo to the Central Committee. The title of the memo was Unnecessary Words, a reference to a famous article written by Chu Qiubai, a former high-ranking CCP leader, before he was executed by the nationalist government. According to Yuan Hongbing, General Liu Yuan listed 3 major crimes that he attributes to Xi Jinping's leadership since he took power. These include creating a serious social and economic crisis, a political crisis, and a crisis in the Taiwan Strait. Regarding the economic crisis, Liu Yuan believes that the fundamental reason for China's current economic difficulties is Xi Jinping's implementation of extreme left-wing economic policies, such as the retreat of private enterprises and foreign companies, and the establishment of Communist Party branches within private and foreign businesses. These policies, Liu argues, are against the principles of a market economy and have led to a major economic downturn. Regarding the political crisis, Liu points out that the current political crisis threatening the CCP's rule is primarily seen in the instability among officials and the unrest within the military. He believes that many party and government officials are disillusioned. As a result, people have become passive in their duties, using the power they still hold to seek personal gain. Regarding the Taiwan Strait crisis, Liu argues that the CCP's efforts to forcibly unify Taiwan have failed. Taiwanese society has increasingly rejected the idea of unification. At the same time, unusual occurrences have been reported within the CCP military and various theater commands, where Xi Jinping's signature ideology and slogans have been deliberately omitted. Instead, there has been a focus on the principles of democratic centralism and collective leadership. Some analysts suggest that these articles are a critique of Xi Jinping's personalism, reflecting a significant decline in his standing within the military and supporting rumors that his power in the military is weakening. On December 9th, the CCP's military newspaper published an article titled "Leading the Way in Promoting Party Democracy." This was followed by another article on December 11th titled "Leading the Way in Upholding Collective Leadership." These articles have attracted public attention. The articles criticized the past practice of some leaders using centralized authority to dominate decision-making, citing Mao Zedong's criticisms and quoting Deng Xiaoping, who emphasized that decisions in the CCP should not be made by individuals, but by the collective leadership of the party. The tone of these articles suggests that the focus is not on criticizing military officials, but rather on implicitly criticizing Xi Jinping's dictatorial approach. Political commentator Cheng Po-kong, who lives in the U.S., mentioned in his media program that the military newspaper articles do not mention the military commission's leadership responsibilities, Xi Jinping's thoughts on strengthening the military, or slogans about following Xi's leadership, implying a subtle criticism of Xi Jinping. Political commentator Tang Jingyuan also pointed out in a media program that the two articles directly target Xi Jinping, rejecting his leadership style and using harsh language to criticize him. The tone of the articles comes across as a top-down reprimand rather than a cautious suggestion, and the language is extremely forceful and aggressive. After General Miao Hua was suspended for investigation, there were reports that Xi's other close ally, General Lin Xiangyang of the Eastern Theater Command, had also been taken for questioning, and there were rumors about his death. As of now, Lin Xiangyang's status remains unclear, and the CCP has not disclosed his latest developments. However, there have been signs of anti-Xi sentiment emerging within the Eastern Theater Command, suggesting that the situation has sparked discontent within the military. Today, corruption is widespread among Chinese military officials. However, high-ranking generals who fall from power are often accused of disloyalty to Xi Jinping, with corruption charges being used as a pretext. When a high-ranking official is arrested, it often implicates many others, and any investigation means the individual will lose their dignity and freedom, facing endless torture. This has led many officers to carry loaded weapons, ready to resist investigators at any moment, preferring death over becoming prisoners and enduring humiliation. In the past year, there has been a massive outflow of capital from China. According to a Wall Street Journal report in October, $254 billion in illegal capital left China during the year leading up to June 2024. A significant portion of the capital outflow is connected to military officers who use various channels to transfer their wealth overseas, often through their children, relatives, or even lovers. If these individuals are investigated, they sometimes choose to sacrifice themselves, protecting their overseas assets and their backers instead. These backers, in turn, help to support the families of the deceased out of gratitude. Australia is one of the destinations where Chinese military officers export their wealth. A real estate agent in Sydney revealed that one of his clients was the wife of an active-duty military officer who, along with her daughter, was purchasing investment properties, paying for several million-dollar homes in full in a single payment. The officer later mysteriously disappeared in China, and his wife claims to have lost contact with him for a long time. She also fears returning to China to search for him. The agent said that such situations are common in Australia and likely occur in other countries as well. He commented, "I'm not sure whether to sympathize with them. The husband sacrifices himself so that his wife and children can enjoy wealth abroad." In Chinese media, only high-ranking officials' fall from power gets announced, and each such incident often means many others are arrested. When a high-ranking official dies, it typically means that many people are protected. Foreign media were shocked by the sudden death of Yu Jianhua, the CCP's Customs General Administration Party Secretary and Director, as he was a close ally of Xi Jinping. Yu had no prominent background but had earned Xi's trust, rising to become a significant figure within the CCP. He had been a senior negotiator in trade talks with the U.S. and the World Trade Organization for over 28 years, playing a crucial role during the Trump administration's trade war. By May 2013, during Xi Jinping's second year in office, Yu had already become a vice minister, serving as the deputy representative for international trade negotiations in the Ministry of Commerce. By October 2017, he was appointed as China's permanent representative to the World Trade Organization, and by 2021, he was promoted to the position of Director of the Customs General Administration. In 2022, Xi Jinping made strategic appointments for the 20th National Congress, with Yu Jianhua appointed as the head of the General Administration of Customs. Naturally, Yu was promoted to a Central Committee member of the CCP, becoming a rising star of the party. He also rose to become one of Ping's trusted allies within the key cadre of the 20th National Congress. He was among the many senior officials above the ministerial level who had fallen under suspicion during Xi Jinping's anti-corruption campaigns. Yu Jianhua's glory days included serving as Xi Jinping's special envoy to attend the power transition ceremony in Panama City on July 1st, where he represented China during the handover of power to the new Panamanian president. Before his death, the General Administration of Customs released data showing that in the first 3 quarters, the total value of imports and exports reached 32.3 trillion yuan, marking the first time in history that it surpassed 32 trillion yuan, a year-on-year increase of 5.3%. Analysts believe that although Yu Jianhua had served as the head of customs for less than 3 years, the issues likely arose during his tenure at the Customs Administration. Historically, the Customs Department has been a place where officials can easily profit, as the power of the Customs Commissioner is immense, and if one chooses to be corrupt, it becomes very easy. As a result, Customs has often been a financial reservoir for CCP elites. During the 2 sessions of the CCP in early March, Yu Jianhua told the media, "Every year, cross-border e-commerce and cross-border mail shipments exceed 7 billion items, and the development of smart customs is imperative." According to related information, the General Administration of Customs has several smart customs projects, including the Smart Port construction project at the Hekou port, with an estimated total investment of about 8.6 billion yuan. The budget for upgrading the Customs Smart Regulatory Cloud platform is 137.6 million yuan. If corrupt officials are easily able to embezzle billions, the questions of which important figures were involved in the corruption remains one of the greatest secrets. Xi Jinping claims to develop a superficially strong economy to support his regime and ensure that the Communist Party's interest groups also benefit. However, he won't tolerate officials making money behind his back, so he orders the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection to crack down on corruption. While the CCDI follows his orders, they can't predict whether they'll uncover powerful figures who are untouchable. On September 24th this year, the CCDI announced that Sun Yuning, a member of the party committee and deputy commissioner of the General Administration of Customs, was under investigation for serious violations. Sun, who had worked in 4 different customs offices, was not only one of the highest-ranking officials in the anti-corruption effort, but also a close associate of Yu Jianhua. Sun had long held key positions at customs, serving as the head of customs in cities like Changchun, Manzhouli, Zhengzhou, and Dalian. He was very familiar with the inner workings of the customs system, including its dark practices. It's believed that under investigation, Sun could not withstand the pressure from the CCDI investigators, and in a bid for leniency, implicated Yu Jianhua. According to CCP regulations, when an official under investigation dies, the case often ends due to a lack of evidence, and the investigation becomes a formality. Yu Jianhua, knowing this well, made his crucial decision after Sun's confession, avoiding the risk of exposing his powerful backers, especially not wanting to embarrass Xi Jinping. His allies then assured that his assets were preserved and his family remained protected. Under China's customs law, the customs authorities are allowed to carry weapons to perform their duties, so the circumstances surrounding Yu Jianhua's death can be seen as reasonable. Yu Jianhua's death in this context could be seen as the ideal outcome. It allows Xi Jinping to ensure his anti-corruption campaign while also saving face for certain powerful figures and ensuring their loyalty. This kind of political maneuvering has been happening for years. For example, in the 1999 Xiamen smuggling case, Lai Changxing became a pawn used by Xi Jinping to pressure the Jiang Zemin faction, while ultimately protecting the senior officials behind him. When the smuggling scandal broke, key CCP figures like Jia Qinling, Xi Jinping, and He Guoqiang were in leadership positions in Fujian province. Lai Changxing was extradited back to China before the 18th Party Congress, partly due to fierce power struggles ahead of leadership transitions. Lai's lawyer once said that many corrupt officials hoped his trial would draw public attention away from the ongoing anti-corruption campaign. After a political reshuffling, over 300 people involved in the case were judged, with 14 sentenced to death, including provincial-level officials and a deputy minister of the Ministry of Public Security. However, Jia Qinling, who had close ties to Lai Changxing, was untouched, and both sides emerged satisfied with the outcome. Compared to the widespread corruption among officials, the most unsettling thing for Xi Jinping is the military. The senior military officers with vast amounts of wealth are showing signs of laziness and lack of loyalty, which Xi Jinping cannot tolerate, especially as he harbors ambitious plans to confront the United States and unify Taiwan. Since last year, the Chinese Communist Party has conducted a sweeping purge and investigation, targeting key military figures, including 2 former defense ministers, the leadership of the Rocket Force, the Strategic Support Force, and the military-industrial system, with nearly 100 high-ranking officials from the Equipment Development Department of the Central Military Commission also coming under scrutiny. According to reports, in January of this year, at least 15 senior military officers and commanders were removed or investigated in the past 6 months alone. On December 29th last year, 9 military generals were dismissed from their posts as National People's Congress representatives, including 3 generals and 4 lieutenant generals. Many served in the Rocket Force, including former Rocket Force commanders General Liu Yuchao and General Zhou Yanning, former Rocket Force Chief of Staff and Deputy Commander Lieutenant General Chuang Guang, former Rocket Force Equipment Director Major General Liu Hong, and Lieutenant General Zhang Zhenzhong, who had served as the Deputy Commander of the Rocket Force and later became the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Joint Staff Department of the Central Military Commission. There were also several officials who had worked in the military equipment sector, such as the former president of the National Defense University, Lieutenant General Zhang Yulin, who had served as the Deputy Director of the Equipment Development Department of the Central Military Commission. Additionally, former Southern Fleet Equipment Chief and Deputy Commander of the Southern Theater Command, Lieutenant General Zhu Xinchun, and former Air Force Commander General Ding Laihang were also implicated. Some analysts have pointed out that the corruption scandal involving Li Shangfu, the former head of the Equipment Development Department and former defense minister, along with the Rocket Force case, has deepened far beyond expectations, with countless individuals under investigation and arrest. As Donald Trump is poised to return to the White House, Xi Jinping has become increasingly nervous. He is not prepared for an intensified confrontation with the United States, and economic decline has caused public discontent to surge. Meanwhile, the purges of the military have led to rising discontent among military officials, with some reports indicating that officers are now showing open resistance. Whether in Bangladesh or Syria, the reality has shown Xi Jinping that when the military disobeys orders, a dictatorship can collapse in an instant. Public opinion suggests that the trend is clear. Xi Jinping's hardline approach seems to be unable to stop the CCP from heading towards its inevitable demise.